Aloha and welcome to Java. Thank you all kindly for joining me again. This is Friday, it's June 21st, 2024. There's a lot in this one. We've got quite a bit to go over. First, I would like to thank everybody that joined in with the Discord yesterday. It was a great discussion. There's quite a bit of things going on nowadays. You're always welcome to join us right now. It's Wednesdays after the lives. However, feel free to pop in there if you would like to and leave comments. We're in there throughout the day. So there's one other thing I would like to mention. There's a lot of prepping, a lot of talk about what's going on, and I want to add what I think is a very important element: encyclopedias. And yes, I mean the old-fashioned in-print ones. You can pick these up either at secondhand stores very inexpensively. Why? Because we are in the age of data, but not only that, in an age of data that can change at the speed of light. A lot of editing going on. And before they can edit these out, get your hands on something physical that they cannot change. I strongly encourage this. At any rate, let's get into what's going on with the markets. So, right now, we've got the MMRI sitting right about 278, still relatively stable, rolling off half a point from yesterday. We've got the fear grade index, couple of points lower, heading back into the fear area. And this is a definite move that has happened. We've got a large options expiry today. So yesterday had a drop in stocks on what happened with the geopolitical area, basically some threats for. I'll go over that a little bit later. But right now, we're showing signs of exhaustion in the market. We've got a major rebalance that must occur prior to the end of today, and a major expiry for options. They call it witching. So if you're in trading, watch the close, in particular the last hour when the volume comes in. It's going to be a very volatile day, I expect. So with this, we're looking at the 10-year yield, of course, and the relative strength of the dollar both gained a bit of power. That's putting pressure on stocks. We watch the cryptocurrencies also have headwinds. So those have both dropped a bit. We've got Bitcoin right now at 63.7. So we have this also come out. There are large position of optional shorts. So if it hits 70,000, it's going to liquidate large amount of positions. So that kind of pushes it towards it. That could be short squeeze, is what we call it. Very possible. If we look at the low end of pricing, showing strong support 62,000 and very strong support at 58 would be a huge buyer at that level. So taking a look right now, we've got kind of mixed market looking towards the open. Volatility index is still higher for the day. We've got gold is up. We'll talk about that in a moment. And we've also got the futures are showing mixed as well. Silver is pulling back a slight bit, but it's at a good price. Had a bit of a run yesterday. Crude oil as well. We're looking at inventories for that. Even though it's dropped slightly, really it's flat, and it's also got some support coming in here. So watching this at this level. So with our calendar today, we're watching manufacturing coming in. So this is supposed to be a view into what is actually being produced from the United States along with the GDP. And we're also getting existing home sales. So I expect the May home sales to be weak. The issue is, are they weaker than what they expect? We're also getting a few Fed presidents coming out to speak today. And they always manage the market with what they say. So they're directing expectations. These are not real things. They've been wrong most of the time for the past couple of years. However, the markets do react to them still. So with this, we've got central banks planning to increase gold reserves with everything going on. That should not be a surprise. We've been watching the strength of gold increase slowly but surely. And I think that's going to, in general, continue. Now, nothing goes in a straight line, so could be slight pullbacks in prices I think those are opportunities to purchase. So prior to the market open, we're only getting earnings from a couple of spots. CarMax is going to be interesting because we've got vehicles are dropping in their sales. So we'll see what their actual earnings come out. Could be completely different. One other stock I would like to mention is nVDA. They're talking about it getting vertigo as the dollar builds. And I think also this would be a great spot, if you haven't already, to consider taking profits. So anything you're holding for the long term is fine. But if you're trading NVIDIA, and you may want to consider taking your profits. Not financial advice, has been a freight train. However, it's getting a bit weak and showing some headwinds. So along with this, we've got Japan's inflation picking up. So they've got to step in. The yen is having big moves, and this could also affect the US currency. So they've put them on the currency watch list for basically issues that it could cause. In short, they do own a large portion of our debt, of the United States debt, and that could have ripple effects. So we've got more business loans going bad. This question is, should banks be worried? Well, they hold this debt. And if you haven't seen how this works or want a better understanding of what happened the last time and what we're looking forward to again, there is a movie. It's called The Inside Job. And it details with a lot of these larger bankers exactly what happened. Now, I'm going to give you a warning. It's probably going to boil your blood a bit, but it will open your eyes if you don't understand how the banking sector works in the United States. So again, it's called The Inside Job. Great movie. Anyway, let's go back to business. We've got the FDIC, Federal Deposit Insurance Board, approving stricter resolution plans and faster merger reviews. Why would they do this? They are expecting many more bank mergers to happen. So if you look at exactly what it is that they are doing, they are looking at liquidating smaller banks. These mergers, we know that have to happen, and this allows the larger banks to purchase all of the assets for pennies on the dollar. Now, this is coming from a board that is backed by the US Treasury. They can basically print as much as they like for these loans, still the reserve currency. So major distortion here. Yeah, they can do it. So let's just move on to basically this is going to affect hedge funds as well. Hedge funds going through mergers. Saganti basically returning one third of fund assets, not all of them. They're going to refund the remaining in installments after they get interest payments and the likes and clear this out. Once they clear out this $4.7 billion hedge fund, all of these people will be fired. So I'd like to go on to a short word about mainstream media. Mike Bloomberg from Bloomberg News and basically news media magnate, backing one candidate. So I don't particularly care which side, but when the mainstream media is taking sides, you know you are not going to get balanced news. It's going to be slanted. If you don't see that, please wake up. So let's go into basically his backing this main candidate who is not going to make it to the timing. They're not expecting him to make it. There will be a last minute substitution, and this is one of the main ones. So the governor of California, Newsom, has a $73 billion budget gap in the state's budget. This has happened during his term. So now with this, he's also looking at larger projects, an additional $20 billion on a tunnel expense, purportedly for the water. Basically what this is geared towards is funneling the water from northern states down to the southern area of Los Angeles and basically the voting district. So this is purely political move, $20 billion at the state's expense, and he is one of the top in line to take over that spot for the United States basically chief. So we've got the US FDA approving expanded use of gene therapy, and their shares jumped. Now, this private stock basically with the healthcare. Why am I bringing this up? Gene therapy is becoming huge. And there's a lot of other ties in with this. Actually, I'm not going to go into that there. I want this video to get out. So we've got also inflation has one path. So for all of the speak about inflation getting back to 2%, I have a question for you. Do you think it can possibly go there? So let's go over a few things behind this. First off, globally, we've got Germany's heading to Beijing because they talk about the electric vehicle tariffs. So what they want to do is basically create taxes on Chinese vehicles. They're pushing for electronic vehicles to be the ones to be used, but they're saying they're too inexpensive and they're not competitive. So with this, we've got German top industrial union to demand a 7% pay raise from Volkswagen. So 7% pay raise. If you're paying your labor 7%, can you keep your inflation down below 2%? We've also got car dealerships across the United States. Yesterday, there was a severe cyber attack. They're going to have to beef up their services security. Their cars are not selling. They're going to go down. That is deflationary. So that could hit that target. But we've also got several other things going on. We've got DeSantis in Florida signing a law over 1.5 million condo owners. Basically, what's going on is there was a major collapse, if you're not aware, a few years back, Surfside condos, structural damage from just long-term wear. They did not maintain it. So hundreds of people died in that. So now the governor is signing a law that they must get structural inspections every 10 or 25 years in order to avoid this again. But all of these costs are being passed on to the homeowners or the HOAs. So that's inflationary for the homeowners or going to crush that sector. We've got another story with Aer Lingus. Their pilots are basically industrial actions. They're striking. They want to increase in their pay as well. So what do you think this is going to do to the price of travel, airline tickets? It's going to go up. American Airlines and their union failed to reach deal on the contract. They offered them an immediate 17% increase in pay. 17%, which was rejected as not enough. So all of this moving forward again, inflation is only going up. We've got potato shortages on the weather, and with what else is going on, food, our basics, very basics food, and this caused major migration last time. So with lack of food, prices going up again. Which way is inflation going? It can come down deflationary for a short period, but in the long term, it's going to increase. So a couple of items of interest going into this basic axis that we're going on with the global powers that are polarizing at a rate faster than decades. We've got Putin's defense pact with Kim Jong-un alarming the US allies. So this is what hit the markets yesterday when the news came out. Basically, he's over there now, was in Vietnam, creating alliances and trade agreements. But when he was speaking with North Korea, basically reached mutual defense deal. Now, this I don't expect that to be much more than what it is right now. It's kind of like trading with their weaponry and also trade deals that they are doing. However, this upset both South Korea as well as Japan, understandably so, because they're both right there. And if his nickname is Rocket Man, Kim Jong-un, basically decides to hit that button or do more missile testing, which he has done recently, they are in the line of fire, literally. So they're retaliating, saying that they're now going to arm Ukraine, to increase sanctions, other things that they can do. With this on the trade war, we've got currency and trade war, which in my opinion are much more immediate in effect. So Russia is now tapping the richest woman to build out a new payment system and replace SWIFT. So she basically built and headlined a company called Wildberries, and that is the Russian version of Amazon. So they already have other alternatives in the works. More CBDCs coming online. China has theirs already in the works. So very interesting times. But with this, I would like to have to wrap this up and get this out to you. Again, one other thing to start: encyclopedias, and build your library along with your garden. So until I see you again, my friends, stay free.